now it is an honor to introduce our keynote speaker, our very own Professor Emerita Edith Benkov, who has led the department for many years and is the first colleague that I actually met when she interviewed me for a job in this department at the MLA convention in Philadelphia many months ago in 2005. Professor Benkov specializes in early modern French and Italian, and is in fact one of the people that this new position is going to substitute, bringing to light her work brings to light important medieval and Renaissance women writers who were previously neglected. She has spearheaded many initiatives on campus, including the LGBT Research Consortium, and is also a founding faculty of European Studies. She'll tell us a little bit more about this. Edith, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Clarissa. I'd like to start out by welcoming everybody who's participating in our 20th anniversary celebration. Current and retired faculty, administrators, students, graduates of the program, friends, family, and members of the community. This venue is certainly not the way we expected to celebrate, but we've adapted to these strange times and will attempt to do our best to keep the joy in this celebration. Before I go any further, however, I must thank everyone who worked on this presentation and make this project happen. Department members, staff, students, and most particularly our department chair, Clarissa Clot, who is through from idea to reality, albeit a virtual reality. My charge today is to reflect on the 20th anniversary celebration of the Department of European Studies, from its inception to its growth to its future. The cultural landscape has, of course, influenced us. From the 1990s to the present, we have seen major changes in academia and in the cultural climate of the nation and the world. I will refer to how it impacts our programs themselves. A point of pride, just to start off with something positive, very positive. Since creating the department, we've had nearly 250 students graduate from the program, some 210 BAs, and about 45 MAs. So how did this all happen? How did it come about? Let me begin with a brief history, an origin story, if you will, of the department. In many ways, 1992, a year of vast budget cuts throughout the CSU, can be seen as the moment that would eventually lead to the creation of the Department of European Studies. But in fact, the story is much more complicated than that, and that would be a simplistic view of how we came to be. Budget cuts did take a toll on many programs at SDSU. Indeed, the programs in German and Russian were slated for total elimination, and French and Italian suffered major reductions. There were early retirements precipitated by the need to reduce expenditures on faculty lines. Among those retirements was the person who was chair of German and Russian. So for the rest of the 1990s, that department shared a chair with French and Italian. So at this point, you're going to say, okay, so the merging of these departments was simply a marriage of convenience. No, not at all, very far from the reality. In the 1990s, the French and Italian programs were housed in the Department of French and Italian Languages and Literatures. And as you might guess, German and Russian were housed in the Department of German and Russian Languages and Literatures. I give these complete names here to offer a contrast, first with their current status as part of the Department of European Studies, and to highlight the importance of names. By the 1990s, neither French, nor German, nor Italian, nor Russian had a curriculum solely grounded in language and literature courses. A much wider range of subjects existed in all the program areas, including business courses and the courses that we often referred to as studies. The latter typically focus on a specific topic or introduce elements such as history, economics, politics, gender studies, into a specific cultural context. Post-colonial thought, changes in the European Union, the breakup of the Soviet Union, the reunification of Germany, just to mention a few things that were happening around that time, were elements that had to play into the rethinking curriculum. Faculty in both departments realized that our branding, if you will, was seriously out of date, even though our curriculum had already changed to reflect the changes in our disciplines. It was time for us to show that we were ready for the 21st century and poised to make a strong move. And also to create something that might withstand the vagaries of the California state budgets. And we're in another one of those budget crises, so we know what they are like. Okay, so how did we finally get together? With a lot of stops and starts, with a lot of negotiation, with a lot of conflict resolution, reimagining the curriculum, starting and stopping again, compromising, and eventually agreeing on a structure that would make sense and not simply be French, Italian, German, and Russian stuck together in a random department. The key, as is obvious, was to find something that united our programs and would allow for collaboration, cross-disciplinarity, and creating something new that made sense in the 21st century. Et voilà, the Department of European Studies came into existence. We developed a new major in European Studies that required extensive work in language and culture, including study abroad, a set of courses in European Studies that were core to all of the majors, and a selection of coursework from other departments, history, poli-sci, philosophy, women's studies, etc. But the primary focus of this European Studies major is contemporary Europe. And unlike many other institutions, we were among the first to include Russian and Eastern European studies in our department. And as I make it clear, European Studies at SDSU is its own department. Again, we were among the earliest independent academic units and one grounded firmly in core faculty may teach in their national language and culture area or in European Studies. These opportunities have allowed faculty for growth in new areas and stimulated research productivity. We see ourselves both as a teaching and research department, and our faculty reflects this view. We were eventually able to hire a new faculty member whose principal assignment is European Studies. We've created an innovative curriculum in that program. A few examples of recent courses are food culture in Europe, human trafficking in Europe, the Muslim experience in Europe, all with a focus on Europe today. As we know, Europe is constantly changing, Brexit being just one recent example. Our curriculum is flexible. It responds to these changes, attracting students not only from our own programs, but from across campus as well. At the same time, our national culture and language programs, French, German, Italian, and Russian, remain the mainstays of the department. All in all, as Clarissa has mentioned, we offer the BA in French, European Studies, German and Russian, a minor in Italian, and an MA in French. We also have a vibrant cultural life in our department. Student organizations are active and plan numerous events. One of my very favorite of these was called Bowling Across Europe, and as you might guess, we all bowled. It was a wonderful event, something that was so totally off the wall that I don't think I'll ever forget it. We have more traditional events, cinema festivals across all of our programs. The Théâtre Français de SDSU, San Diego's only French language theater company, produces a student play every year. We regularly invite guest speakers who bring their expertise to our campus, many of whom were part of the Imagine Europe lecture series. Clearly, in COVID times, these activities have been postponed, reduced, or moved online. But we continue in our efforts to create a community. We have faced and will face challenges. The greatest one confronting us now is the many retirements we've had over the past decade. But as a department, we're not strangers to challenges. We've begun to build back the faculty and look forward to what the next decade will bring us. more opportunities for growth, and hopefully the return to face-to-face instruction to restore human interactions. We have much to celebrate for the first 20 years of our department and a solid foundation upon which to grow. And next year, we turn 21, adults at last. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's do some reactions here, like applauding. Okay, so in this slide, we wanted to take the opportunity we did research in the archives, as I mentioned, and found a couple of pictures representing the language in action, the activism that was going on in 1992 as they were threatening to cut the language program. So in the large, on the right-hand side, we have the French, 3 panels of the French mural with the guillotine, and you can read it as well. The picture will be posted on our website. And in the circle, there is it's I believe, a staged protest in front of the old administration building. And the German and Russian programs are named as well on the left-hand side. So again, we have documents of that, and I also wanted to point to the fact that civil disobedience and protest are also part of the curriculum we teach. So that's actually the first surprise, Edie. I don't know how surprised you are, but and this is certainly not enough to thank you for the wonderful contribution, presentation tonight, but contributions in general that you've made to our department and our university through the years that you've been involved. I remember from very early on receiving messages from you at all hours. I'm like, is this woman even sleeping? And not doing work all the time. So this is just a way for us to say thank you. It will be shipped to your address, I guess. I'm not giving it to you in person. I won't touch it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That is really very sweet of everyone to do. And I appreciate it. I do appreciate it very much.